Hello, let's look at the 20 Bolivianos Banknote. This note came out in 2018 and is the second smallest denomination from a collection of 10, 20, 50, 100, and 200 Bolivianos. The predominant color of this banknote is orange, just as its predecessor. Just as the other notes of this series, the banknote contains 3 distinct figures, 2 important locations, 1 animal, and 1 plant. Firstly, let's look at the front of the note. The girl on the left is named Genoveva Rios. She was born in 1865 in Antofagasta, Litoral, as daughter of the town's police chief. Litoral is a former province of Bolivia that was lost to Chile during the Guerra del Pacifico. In 1879, the war broke out and Antofagasta, the city she lived in, was invaded and occupied. The police department was burned. As it burned, Genoveva rescued the Bolivian flag. She hid the flag during the entire occupation and later returned it to the Bolivian consulate in Iquique. The flag is currently on display at La Casa de la Libertad, a museum in Sucre, Bolivia. In the middle, we see Tomás Catari, an indigenous man from Potosí born in 1740. He served as cacique, or tribal leader, a title which he inherited by birth. He functioned as a bridge between the locals and the Spanish authorities. With the help of the regional corregidor, he was usurped by Blas Bernal, a Spanish-born who extorted the people without mercy. A corregidor is a regional leader that reports to the viceroy, the leader who in turn reports to the Spanish crown. Tomás Catari went to Buenos Aires, the seat of the viceroy, to explain his grievances, which resulted in an order for investigation. He returned to Potosí only to be jailed for his actions. The regional corregidor eventually pushed the local population to revolt against him and demanded Tomás Catari's release, which was successful. However, an order for Tomás to be captured dead or alive was secretly given to the Spanish. In 1781, the Spanish militia caught and held Catari in Aliagas. The Spanish moved Catari from his holding cell in Aliagas to Chuquisaca. During their journey, indigenous supporters confronted the Spanish militia and demanded his release. Instead, the Spanish militia leader pushed Thomas off the cliff to his death. After his actions, a worse fate awaited the leader. Catari's death later went on to influence additional rebellions, including that of Tupac Catari, a man who we will cover in the 200 Bolivianos banknote. Lastly, on the right, we see Pedro Ignacio Muiba. He is a member of the Mojos tribes and was born around 1784 in modern-day Trinidad. He also served as his regional cacique. In late 1810, after years of colonial abuse, Muiba protested against colonial rule. This resolve was strengthened when the locals heard of the 1810 Revolution of Buenos Aires. This is the event where Buenos Aires declared independence from Spain. Unfortunately, Muiba's tenure as leader would only last 4 months as he was assassinated in early 1811. However, his actions allowed the indigenous tribes to control their land until they were subjugated in 1822. In the middle of the note, we have an important location known as Fuerte de Samaipata, or in English, Samaipata Fort. This pre-Columbian site is most known for its carved rock at the top of a hill. Archaeologists suspect carving of the rock began around 400 AD. It is believed to be started by the Chane people. They were a culture that predates the Incas. However, the site is known to contain Chane, Inca, and even Spanish structures, meaning it was continuously used until at least the early 1600s. Moving to the back of the note, we first see Laguna Bay. This body of water is part of the National Reserve of Manuripe in Pando. It is known as the Aquarium of Bolivia. It has clear waters, exuberant views, and a diverse fauna. Among the diverse fauna is the black caiman. It is one of the largest reptiles in the Amazons, which can reach up to 6 meters in length. It has a dark back and a lightly colored belly. Lastly, we see the Toborochi tree. This tree has a swollen bottom 1/3 trunk and is dotted with conical spikes to prevent animals from climbing it. This tree is included in several religious myths and legends of the indigenous population. One of the most common legends describes the origin of the swollen trunk. In a time when the gods and spirits lived among men, Anya, the spirits of darkness, enjoyed abusing their power and killing men and abducting women. In a small village lived the beautiful daughter of a cacique. She was named Aravera. She was married to the god of the hummingbird and was pregnant. The spirits of darkness knew this child could grow to become a powerful shaman that could defeat them. The spirits decided to chase down Aravera to kill her. She was able to escape with the help of a flying chair given to her by her husband. However, no matter how far she escaped, the spirits would always find her, until she hid in a toborochi tree. There she gave birth and raised her son. The son grew up, left the tree, and defeated the evil spirits. However, the mother stayed infused with the tree. The story says she is able to see the outside world in the form of sweet nectar from the flowers, which is picked up by the hummingbirds. With that story, we have completed the artistic aspect of the banknote. Now, let's look at the security features, starting with the front. One of the main security features is a clearly distinguishable watermark of Genoveva Rios, the Bolivian flag, and the number 20. We see an orange reflective strip with repeating images of Genoveva and the denomination. The note has several high-precision prints, with most that are tactile, such as the 3 personalities, the number 20, the 3 horizontal bars, and 6 inclined lines on the sides of the note that line up when placed end to end. The horizontal bars and diagonal lines are different for all of the notes in the series, making them easily identifiable by touch. The words Banco Central de Bolivia, Estado Plurinacional de Bolivia, and 20 Bolivianos are also tactile. On the bottom right, we can see a square box with a pattern that reveals the number 20 when tilted. The semi-complete number 20 on the bottom left is completed using a silhouette of the back side. On the back, we have a reflective black cayman. Placing the bill end to end reveals a complete number 20. The banknote is 100% cotton with threaded UV fibers. A UV light on the front highlights the UV fibers, the security strip, the banknote series, the national coat of arms, and signatures of the bank members. UV light on the back reveals the denomination and the toborochi tree. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the 20 Bolivianos banknote. I plan to continue this series of videos with other denominations. Once I complete this series, I plan to make more videos on different banknotes. I welcome any ideas and thoughts on improving the quality of my videos, and please, pretty please, make me feel validated and socially accepted by giving me a like.